Here we are. Give me 1 second, and I'm sharing it to a couple of groups here.
Okay, sounds good.
1 second, and sharing it to a couple of groups here. All right. All right, welcome everybody. So, let me see what's going on here. And who's got the, okay. Raf, I think you have, so who's got their speakers on your guys' end?
No, not me. I think that might just be the live feedback that you're getting from Facebook. It's just a little bit delayed. I can try muting myself though and see if that maybe does a difference here.
Hold on. Oh, here we go. I found it. I figured out where the problem is. Okay, there we are.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Okay, everybody. Hello. How's it going? Domi? All right. So today we're going to talk about a problem that plagues many new home care agencies, and that is trying to figure out how to properly schedule their caregivers. New caregiver agencies in particular, they have a hard time figuring this out. This place is too expensive. That one doesn't do everything. This one does too much. Why am I paying for all of this? And, it really tends to become an issue when you really just need a simple program that's going to get it done, that's going to be able to grow with your agency and just move along with what you need. Okay. So today we have with us Raphael and Ryan from FirstVisit software. And welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, Julio. Thank you.
How's it going?
Thank you for having us.
So let's see. FirstVisit. You guys, how long have you guys been around?
Yeah, so we've been around since about 2018 is when we first started kind of building out the platform there, doing market research, working with other agencies, that sort of thing. And then in March of 2019 is when we actually went to market and got our first customer and kind of started to grow the company from there.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
And who's your ideal client as we're building all of this out?
Yeah, so for us here at FirstVisit, our ideal customer is a private duty agency. So right now we're not super integrated on the Medicaid, Medicare side of things, but we are fully fledged and kind of accessible for private duty agencies, primarily in that small to medium-sized range from a support perspective, from a price perspective, and a feature perspective. That's kind of our fit right now that we work primarily with today.
All right. That's pretty awesome. That's actually ideal for the people watching, since most of our client base is also the that same category, the private pay agency that's trying to figure it all out and get moving. So now we're about to get into the demo. We're about to ask you guys to just show us what it is you do. I think that's probably the best way for you guys to show what you're about and to show us, what sets you apart and why FirstVisit above everything else. So before we do that, if somebody were to sign up with you guys, how long does it actually take from the minute I sign up till I can go live and start using it? How simple is it?
Yeah, great question. So when it comes to signing up, let's say you signed up today, we would get you on an onboarding session later this afternoon. We would ask you for some information that we can then go and import into the platform for you.
Mhm.
Once that data is imported, usually takes about 24 to 48 hours, depending on how much client and caregiver information you have. Once that's in, we can start beginning to build the schedule. And we have about a 4 to 5 step onboarding plan. We usually do that between 1 and 2 weeks, more so dependent on your schedule. But yeah, long story short, if you have QuickBooks Online integration, it's 5 onboarding sessions. If you don't, then it's a 4 onboarding sessions, and we can get you up and running between 1 or 2 weeks. Again, just kind of depending on your schedule.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so I think there's really not much else to go on right now, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's walk us through. Show us the magic.
Sounds good. All right, well, I'll jump into the platform here. Thanks again, Julio, for bringing us on. And for everyone on board, my name is Raphael. I'm an account manager here at FirstVisit. On the other side here, I got Ryan. He's a product manager. He's kind of in charge of overseeing the platform, making sure we're keeping it nice and easy to use for all of our clients and future prospects there as well. So with that said, I'm going to give you guys a really quick demo of the platform. If you ever like, you can come visit our website, firstvisitsoftware.com, to learn a little bit more about us and reach out, chat with myself or other members of the team here. But to make it quick, when you first log into the dashboard, you'll see there is a quick overview of all the different things going on. So as a home care agency, it can be kind of difficult to keep track of all of the moving parts, especially if you're new and you haven't really built out some great processes and habits yet. This can really save you a lot of time just understanding kind of where your agency is at where your agency is at a really high level. So things like timesheets that are waiting approval, if you still have any unfilled open shifts that need to be filled, if you have a interested employee who maybe bid on a shift and just waiting approval, if you have any people, any of your caregivers missing clock-ins, things of that nature. Quick look at the schedule here, and then just a recent activity feed of all the different things kind of going on there within your agency. So again, the platform consists of 2 different areas. One, we have the web portal, which is what we're looking at right now. This is where you guys as agency owners would log in and manage your schedule and all of your information within the platform. And then we also have the mobile app, and that mobile app is for the caregivers, and they're able to download that app either on the Android or iOS store and see all of their scheduled visits, clock into those visits, complete tasks, and that sort of thing. So I'll jump into that a little moment later. But what I want to highlight here quickly is just some of the information that you can store beginning with your clients. So I'm going to jump into one of my clients here. We got Anderson S, for example. We can see all of their key contact information. We got some notes, some goals, some interests there that you can add as well. We have his emergency contacts. If we jump over into care documentation, we're able to see all of their key, health information that is also accessible by caregivers through the mobile app in case they ever need to have quick access to this. We also have a task section. So all of these tasks you can create for each client. You can delete tasks, add notes to these, and these can all be specific tasks based on each individual client. And then that way, all of your caregivers, rather than perhaps going around with a sheet of paper and completing things manually, they're able to just do everything from the mobile app, which then automatically generates a visit report. So this visit report will consist of all of the visit information, the employee, the date, the time of the visit. You're going to have the client's information here as well. That client can sign off at the end of each visit, just confirming that all of these tasks were completed, as well as any notes perhaps that needed to be added to a task there. And then a quick visit summary here, just kind of highlighting the whole visit. So you can always print these, email these, share these, whatever you need. But lastly, as far as storing information on your clients goes, you can have just upload documents there as well. So rather than having that filing cabinet in your office, maybe you have caregivers needing to come in and out, grab some of that information, you're able to just store that all within the platform. And then the caregivers are able to access this based on their upcoming schedule and the services that they're providing to individual clients there. So that is kind of a quick summary of some of the things that you can store on your clients. I just want to highlight a few things that you can store on your caregivers as well. So you'll see a lot of that same information couple of things I like to highlight is their work capacity. So whether you have a part-time employee, full-time employee, maybe an employee that's really suitable for overtime, you can set some parameters there. So that way, whenever you're building the schedule, you can try to stay within those bounds there. Of course, you have their hourly rate. So this is very important, adding the hourly rate for all of your caregivers. That's going to translate into the invoicing side of things and into the payroll side of things, which we'll touch on here in a moment as well. And then the same thing around storing documents. You can store certifications and qualifications for them within the platform too. And on that note, you can even set reminders around expiry dates. So that way, if they have a certification coming up for expiry, you'd be able to get notified so that you can address that and try to stay on top of that. As well as reports related to these expiry dates. You can always run reports and see, who has expiring qualifications coming up in the next 30 days. So that's one thing that can easily be missed, especially as a new home care agency owner. It's one of those things that you're so worried, focused on your clients, that sometimes you forget that there's a few responsibilities that your caregivers need to stay on top of as well. So that's a quick summary as far as what you can store on clients and employees. And then when it comes to the scheduling side, this is where you're really going to save a bunch of time and save yourself a lot of headaches as well. So coming in, we can see a schedule. We have all of my clients here on the left-hand side. I have some notes here as well if I ever need to get access to some quick things just regarding the client when building that schedule. And then we can see all sorts of different colors on the schedule right now. So anything in green here just means that it's a visit that's scheduled for the future. Anything that is dark red, that means that is a open shift, so that any one of my caregivers can pick that up and make an offer for that shift. I can also pick specific caregivers. Maybe I just want to offer it to 3 specific caregivers and let them bid on the shift. That is possible as well. So here we can actually see a blue visit. And what that blue visit means is that I had sent out a visit, offered it up to some caregivers, and one of the caregivers had placed a bid on it. So when it's blue, that means I can then go and approve or reject that bid. And then once that I approve that, it then goes to green, letting the employee know that the bid has been approved and that they're scheduled for that new visit there. And to create a visit, it's quite easy. So I just click on this button here. I'm going to create one for Wednesday, September 22nd for this client, Anderson. Then I'm actually going to jump into the mobile app and I'm going to show you what that looks like from a caregiver's perspective. So I come in here, I've got my client here. I'm going to select my employee, Dana W in this case. It's going to be a quick shift from 1:45 to 5:45. Here I can set my frequency. So this is pretty important. This will also save you a ton of time. If you have clients that have a very consistent schedule week over week or month over month, you can create specific kind of formats of repetition to make sure that you're not having to come into the platform every day or every few days, constantly needing to create new visits. So in this case, you can see that I want this visit to repeat every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And maybe I want that to never end. So I can go ahead, click that and hit done, and then it creates a special cadence for that visit, and it can get pretty customized there. In this case, I'm just going to create a single visit for this example. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. From here, I can then select the type of service that's being provided. So these are all different service types that you can add into the platform. We just have a few here for examples. Perhaps in this case, I'm going to say they are in need of a physical therapist. I can come in here and have my bill rate as hourly for $60 an hour. Got my pay rate of $30 an hour here. I can always override these bill rates and pay rates as well. So bill rate is going to come back to the invoicing side of things. Based on the hours and based on the rate, it'll automatically generate invoices for you and for that client. And then as far as the pay rate goes, that's going to relate back to the payroll reporting side of things. So in that case, I'm going to hit next. That visit has now been created and it's on the schedule here. And so what I'm going to do now as Dana is I'm going to log into my mobile app here and I'm going to show you how that experience looks like for caregivers. So I'm just going to stop sharing here for just 1 second. And I'm going to open up my mobile app. All right, so Julio, you able to see my mobile app there?
Yeah, we can see everything just fine.
Perfect. All right, so in this case, my name is now Dana. I'm no longer the home care agency owner. I jumped into the app store. I downloaded the mobile app. I put in my credentials, and I'm able to see all of my upcoming visits here. So I can see I got 4 upcoming visits. I'm actually going to refresh my page because I just added a new visit. So we can see here I have a visit. I have 5 of them upcoming actually. I have 210 Main Street as the address there. I can always give that client a quick call if I need to. If I click that Maps button, it's going to pop open Google Maps and show me where they're located as well. If I ever want to maybe check that beforehand, make sure I can get there on time. And then if I click on this arrow here, this is where I'm able to see those visit details. So ADLs, for example, all of the tasks that I need to complete. I can also take a look at any visit notes perhaps that the administrator has added to the visit. In this case, I didn't add any visit notes, but this would be things like come in through the side door or beware of dog or that sort of thing. We also have the care plan. So I can jump into the mobile app. I can see all of this key information that I need. Maybe it's some medication info, maybe it's some emergency contact info, maybe a specific hospital that I need to take this client to if anything ever goes wrong there. And then I also have my attachments here, any of those additional files that don't fit into the care plan that caregivers and administrators need to have access to. I can access that from this mobile app as well. So in this case, myself as Dana, I reviewed my visit. It starts pretty soon. I feel pretty good about it. I can now hit clock in. When I hit clock in, it's going to open up a COVID-19 checklist and questionnaire. So basically what that does is it helps ensure that none of your caregivers are potentially getting any of your clients sick, and you as an agency are kind of putting in that insurance policy, so to speak, to ensure that you are in fact kind of making sure that your caregivers are safe. So I'm going to kind of fly through this pretty quick. I'm going to hit no on all of these. If one of your caregivers hits yes on one of these, it's going to notify yourself as the administrator, and it won't allow them to clock in. So that way you can address whatever COVID-19 risk there is prior to them fulfilling a visit here. So I'm going to hit clock in. I am now clocked in at 1:44. And one thing to keep in mind is that if I try clocking in outside of a specific geofence of Anderson's address, it actually won't allow me to clock in. It'll notify the administrator as well, saying that this caregiver has tried clocking in outside of the permitted geofence. So that's just a factor of the employee visit verification, as you want to ensure that all of your caregivers are actually at the address when they go to clock in and out of their visit there. So now that I'm clocked in, I can go in and I can start completing all of these tasks. So I'm going to fly through some of these. Maybe this client didn't want lunch, so I'm going to leave a comment here and just say client refused lunch today. And then I can go in and continue to complete all of these tasks. So of course, these tasks would get completed over a longer period of time throughout the duration of the visit. But for the demo, this is going to be a very quick visit. So now that I've completed all the tasks, it'll actually allow me to clock out, whereas before it wouldn't allow me to clock out until I complete all the tasks or leave notes on tasks that aren't completed. And I can also add mileage here as well. So let's say, for example, I had to drive them to the doctor's office, or maybe I had to drive them to the grocery store, and I had to drive, let's maybe say 2.3 miles. I can add that to the mileage piece here. So that way, when again, processing invoices and processing payroll, you can have bill rates and pay rates for mileage and have that appear in the invoicing and in the payroll reports. So now I'm feeling pretty good, did everything I needed to do. I can now hit this clock out button. When I hit clock out, it's going to ask me how the visit went, so I can add a little visit summary here. In this case, I'll keep it simple. Visit went well. Hit continue. It now gives me a summary of all of the tasks that I've completed. And this is the part where the caregiver hands the client the phone, or they show the client the phone. And at that point, they can review the tasks, hit this little tap to sign button, and it'll pull open the signature screen where they can go in and leave their initials, confirming that the caregiver had provided the services that they had flagged here in the mobile app. So now in this case, I'll hit submit. Once I hit submit, this visit is now successfully completed. I clock in and I clock out. You'll also notice I get an email notification here up top because I'm an administrator. So you as an administrator will also get notified when one of your caregivers clocks in and clocks out of a visit. So that way you're always on the ball. You always know what's going on within your agency. There's never any question marks, and you always know if there needs to be any last minute changes. You can go in and give them a shout whenever you need there. The other thing I wanted to quickly highlight is the offers section. So this is where you're able to see any visits that are open to pick up. So in this case, we got a few. I've already expressed interest in these, but I can always express interest in some others as well. Just letting me know, or letting the administrator know that I'd like to pick these up. And that's the other thing. Again, as the administrator, you'll get notified anytime one of the caregivers requests to pick up or expresses interests in one of these visits. So yeah, overall, that is the mobile app experience. So in this case, I'm going to end the screen share again here, and I'm going to hop back into the web platform. There we go. You guys able to see my screen there again? Okay.
Yep. Everything's great.
Wonderful. All right. So now that this visit is completed, I'm just going to hit refresh on the schedule, and we'll see that that visit has gone from green to purple, just highlighting and letting me know that that visit is now complete. So the last thing I want to quickly highlight here is the reporting side of things. So I just want to highlight a few of them. Timesheet, of course, is going to be a big one. This is where you're able to see every single time entry and scheduled visit that you have created. You're also able to compare the scheduled time versus the actual clock in and clock out time. So I'm just going to adjust a date range here. Let's go from August 22nd to 28th. Let's add a couple other things here. So all of these punches here, we'll see the date, the employee, the client, the scheduled start and the scheduled end, the actual start, and the actual end time there. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting, I'll need to, there we go. So that way, yeah, you can quickly at a glance see, okay, when were they scheduled to start versus when did they actually start and end their visit? If you ever need to make any adjustments to that time as well, you certainly can just right here in the details side of things, and you can hit edit, and then you can approve or decline those timesheet entries. Then once they're approved or declined, that's when you can go and create your payroll reports as well as create your invoice reports. So it's pretty straightforward. You have your employee, you have their ID, the total number of hours they worked within that specific date range, as well as the total payout that they received. And then you can always click and expand that, and it'll give you more details about the client, the service that was provided, the date and time of the visit, and then a breakdown in hours and mileage for each visit there as well. And then on the invoicing side, this one is quite similar as well. So you would go in and create a batch for a particular date range, and it's going to create invoices for every single client that had services rendered for that particular week. And then it will, you can also break that down here as well. So you can see the caregiver, the service that was provided, and the date that that service was provided as well. So if I open this up, you'll kind of see a quick example here. This is an invoice for Paige. Here's the address there. These are the services that were rendered and the date where those services were rendered. You have your mileage and then your total cost for that particular visit there. So that is the kind of speed run through of the FirstVisit platform. Thank you everyone for checking this out and bearing with us while we go through this. Any questions for me or Julio, or anything that you might want me to jump into and maybe expand on a little bit more?
No, I see nothing so far. All right. I mean, look, we really appreciate you coming on. Definitely. This has been very insightful, and it's a great solution for newer agencies, for smaller agencies, where it's definitely, I could definitely see with the ease of use that this is something that's almost perfect for, somebody just getting started. Somebody who's opened their doors. Maybe they're handling their first few clients, trying to grow along. And as a bonus, they've let us know that everyone watching the video, everyone that's seeing this live demo, there is in the description box a coupon code, that will give you 50% off the first few months of service and a big discount on the setup. All right, so this is now it's becoming a massive, savings for you, as well as a way to help improve your operations and your scheduling. All right, so thank you very much. We really do appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you talking about this and sharing this great platform with our viewers.
Awesome.
You have anything else you guys want to add?
No, that should be about it. Thanks again so much for having us on here. And again, one thing I'd love to always reiterate about FirstVisit is we started out from a fellow named Dan Bofoya. He fortunately, also unfortunately, just had a baby this past weekend, so he wasn't able to join us today.
Awesome.
But he had his own agency. He had about 250 caregivers, about 150 clients there, and he wanted to build this platform because he was always struggling finding a good platform that worked for his agency. A lot of them were convoluted, really difficult to use, crazy onboarding fees, pretty expensive. So he figured, you know what, I'm going to take a break from my home care agency and I'm going to build a platform to help other home care agencies and make life a lot easier. So that's kind of where we came from. And that's why we really strive to have the best support along with the best price and the most easy platform to use on the market there, because we know it can be a little tricky. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I wanted to say there, Julio. Thanks again for having us.
No problem. All right, Raf. All right, Ryan. Thanks for being here. And that was actually pretty interesting to learn that, so there you have it, folks. A scheduling platform built for you by someone who's been in your shoes. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you all next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.